Welcome back. Well, just getting started with our discussion here from World Pork Expo. Lee, we had Dan talk about kind of his forecast for exports the rest of this year. We have seen strength here in the hog market here at home. Do you think that can continue, and what has to happen in order for that to be the case?
So I do think we see overall stronger prices here in 2025 compared to 2024. I think, some of the prices right in front of us are where we're going to see some of that strength. I think there's still some question about how much stronger fourth quarter prices can be in 2025, but that speaks more to how strong they were in 2024. So I expect prices to be up modestly, probably in that 3 to 5% increase year over year, which importantly would be outpacing inflation at this point, and which would lead to overall profitable margins and rather good margins compared to what we've seen, especially the last couple of years, and maybe rival that 21 and 22 levels.
Since we are at least seeing, some promising potential when it comes to profitability, are we seeing expansion take place?
Not yet. I mean, we've seen relatively flat inventories. We have the smallest breeding herd since 2016. I think when we get the next hog and pigs report here in a couple of weeks, I think it's going to be another real steady breeding herd. But we haven't necessarily needed increased inventories to deliver more pork production. We continue to grow at roughly about a 1% growth because due to productivity. So higher litter rates, higher carcass rates, we're able to provide more pork yet with a stable inventory.
Dan, the demand here at home has been phenomenal. You look at the protein craze, you just look at what's happening across the front for all livestock complexes because of the need for more protein. It's been positive. Are we seeing that type of hunger on the export level as well?
Yeah, without a doubt. You look at the global population growth, the growing middle class in a lot of these countries, there's more spending power. I'll give you two examples. Mexico and Central America, places like Guatemala. They are not only demanding our products at the current cutout on a beef side, 365 choice cutout. You've got a 106 cutout on a pork side. And the question's not why are the prices so high. The question is when will there be more supply? So this is a dynamic shift in buying habits from some of these countries that used to be price buyers. So you're seeing a maturity coming in at least the upper middle class, and middle class can afford our quality and our products. So yeah, you look at the world, and there's a lot of opportunity going forward.
Are you concerned at all about Brazil? Is Brazil becoming an even bigger competitor on the pork front?
Yes. No, I mean, seriously, we are not the only ones that have figured out the value of exports. You look at last year, $422 a head on the beef side, contribution from exports. Pork side was $67 a head, which was a record. These other markets have figured the same thing out. So yeah, we're tracking what Brazil's doing very closely. We're looking at markets like Mexico and Korea, two good examples where they're gaining a little bit of traction where there was none before. So, but we're not shying away from a fight. Our quality, our reputation, our relationships is better than any in the world on our products. And we just got to make sure we identify where Brazil's getting a grip and we react because our quality is second to none.
So Lee, what do producers need to keep in mind? I mean, as we sit here today, it's not like we have a trade deal with China. We're continuing to hear about tariffs. I mean, we look at just this week, the president increasing steel and aluminum tariffs and the EU threatening to fight back. And so the tariff conversation isn't going away. The trade conversation is still at the forefront. What is your advice for producers the second half of this year?
I think it looks to be we have turned the corner. I think the market is now offering producers some opportunity to really, offset a lot of risk, especially as we kind of look in the short term here. And so I think, from a producer standpoint, it's managing that risk, both kind of near term and longer term, and really allowing for some upside because I think there is a lot of potential as we think about trade deals and ability to grow demand. And so I think, again, providing that upside opportunity.
Dan, Lee, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We need to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more U.S. Farm Report.